changes are needed to make the cycling safe.
Adrian Bailey was jailed for rape in 2002. The court also heard he'd had a borderline personality disorder after years of abuse as a child.
Which showed the party would jump 6% of the ratings if Kevin Rudd was leader. Australia correspondent Rachel Morton is live from Sydney. Rachel, just how bad are things looking for the Labor Party?
Well, Mike, the Australian Labor Party currently holds 71 seats in the House of Representatives, but their internal polling shows they could lose 40 of those seats at the election. That means under Julia Gillard's leadership, more than half the party could be wiped out. For the first time in almost a fortnight, Julia Gillard took questions from reporters, trying desperately to keep them focused on her election campaign.
I'm well aware that there's plenty of rumour mongering and plenty of speculation. A breath spent on that speculation or rumour mongering is a breath that isn't spent on putting the case for improving our schools for our kids. Publicly, that he's supporting me.
MPs acknowledge the speculation is harming the party, and a former Labor Party leader says Kevin Rudd is to blame, and every time he gets in front of a camera, he undermines the Prime Minister.
Well, this is a program, a jihad of revenge, the like of which we've never seen before. But you're getting into the realm of evil here with Rudd, the realm of evil.
Rudd's supporters say that's nonsense.
He would not challenge again for the leadership. He made that clear.
Parliament will sit again next week for the last time before the election. And Mike, Parliament will sit for 2 weeks, and if Julia Gillard's going to stand down, that's when it would happen. But she will not go without a fight. One of her supporters told the Sydney Morning Herald that if anyone knocks on her door asking her to stand down, she would, and I quote, give them a death stare and a kick in the balls.
Rachel, thank you.
Nice.
Hundreds of riot police have entered Taksim Square in Turkey's Istanbul. Police used water cannon and fired tear gas and stun shells on protesters who've been gathering in the square for over a week. The protests were initially sparked by plans to develop the square, but have grown into broader discontent with the government. 3 people have died and more than 5,000 have been treated for injuries or the effects of gas during the protests. The family of a former West Auckland man who was killed trying to rescue a couple at a power plant in southern Thailand have revealed a tragic twist. They say he was looking forward to starting a new life back in New Zealand with his wife and 3 children. Susie Nordquist reports.
Michael Coppins spent a son who was from a suspected gas leak at a biomass power plant in the Trang province, 680 kilometres south of Bangkok on Sunday night.
To us, that's just a kind of, well, if he was going to go, I guess, helping somebody else with what he was going to be doing.
His boss and friend of 17 years, Armin Masumi, believes human error was to blame.
One thing that is clear that it was not equipment malfunction.
But his family are in shock and struggling to understand.
Before anybody would enter a place that would have been safe before they'd gone into there, had he known that they were going in there.
Michael Coppins returned home for 9 weeks at Christmas. The tragedy is he was going to return to New Zealand with his wife and family who knew and loved him. Tributes to a man whose selfless act will be remembered by
Their phone and iPad driving almost 4 times over the legal limit.
The notion that a pretty crummy house should be $600,000 or $700,000 is offensive to many New Zealanders.
And with so many home buyers being left behind, what will happen if the price keeps going up? Then...
I'll do you and your program.
Why is Winston Peters so unhappy about talking to us?
What? I'm sorry.
You have a corruption.
You're lying.
You are a
Tawdry, loudmouth, rude.
And they're only getting started. Join us at 7.
How are they? It's revenge. The man killed my wife, Gibbs.
Oh, this is a strange business.
He set up a trap and I fell right into it. V. Agent from
Only at A1 Homes.
My son's
Find a station. Fresh bread and jam, no worries, ma'am. Here's to road happiness. After umpteen red lights, a decent flat white. A fuel that cleans engines for a family of Jenkins. And AA Smart Fuel Awards that can't be ignored. Here's to road happiness. BP. Be road happy.
New Zealand, you need a break.
With these great low fares from Jetstar, now's the perfect
time to take one. Fly from Christchurch to Wellington from $45. Wellington to Auckland from $45. Or Auckland to Christchurch from just $55.
Thanks,
Here's a one-way...
The Warehouse has all the hits. More CDs at a very hot price.
Yeah.
Now at The Warehouse.
Air New Zealand has unveiled a new look for its planes. The aircraft will feature a silver fern on a backdrop of either black or black and white. The airlines also announced a $20 million partnership with Tourism New Zealand to boost overseas visitor numbers. Tony Field reports.
Some of the planes will feature the fern on an all-black backdrop, but the majority will feature a black and white colour scheme, something that researchers said people preferred for its premium look.
We really want something very iconic, very distinctive that gets attention.
It will take 18 months to paint the entire fleet, including the next generation Boeing Dreamliner, the first of which is expected to arrive in the middle of next year. The design was tested here and overseas.
78% of people felt the addition of the New Zealand fern was a really positive thing that represented New Zealand, it fitted with New Zealand.
The airline has also signed a $20 million partnership with Tourism New Zealand to promote the country as a tourist destination. Tourist numbers are up 10% in the first 4 months of this year, with China leading the way, followed by the US, Australia and Japan.
Well, we'd like to think it is a bit of a change. What we are seeing is a universal improvement in markets that we're working in.
Kevin Bowler says partly it's because of an improvement in economies like the US, but there's also the Hobbit effect. 8% of visitors said they wanted to see New Zealand because of the movie. Tony Field, 3 News.
Time now to take a look at the markets, and this is how the New Zealand dollar is currently trading. It's up slightly on the Aussie, sitting at 83.75 and just dipping below 79 cents there against the US.
Yeah, it's almost 10 minutes.
50 was down 10 points today, but Fisher & Paykel Healthcare rose 6 cents, Mainfreight up 26. For more on the markets, we're joined now by Chris Henderson of ASB Securities. And Chris, the share market looks...
The US Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, began